Welcome to No Notes.
I'm Colby.
And I'm Alex.
And welcome to the first episode of the new year.
Yay! So this is the first New Year's that we didn't spend together in like 3 or 4 years.
I know, it was kind of sad.
I know.
Did you miss me?
I thought about you. I was like, I hope Colby's having fun. But at the time it was New Year's, I was actually asleep. And it was, I think, still the 30th of December. So,
Right. Tell our listeners where you were.
So I was in Australia. I went to the major cities and I hung out with my partner's parents. But for New Year's, I was on Bondi Beach.
You were paraded home like a prize pig.
Yeah. And I won first in town. First in place. Is that a thing?
Yeah, sure. First place. First place. First place hog.
Yeah, I got back about 2 days ago. Still, jet lag wasn't so bad. Airplane ride wasn't so bad. Children, man.
On the plane?
Yeah, so I'm poor, famously, and I was
going to say, I know where you're going with this. I heard a rumor. Did you guys ride in separate classes?
Yeah, so being in first class was an additional $3,200.
Of course.
And I think mine was, I want to say it was like 3,000
already. Yeah.
Already too. So like it was way out of I wasn't going to pay an additional $3,000, but they sat me next to 2 children.
Oh,
infants. They're both under the age of 2. One of them, I'm not going to call it a child because it's a fucking demon, was, I kid you not, crying for 10 hours straight.
No, absolutely not.
10 hours.
We would be having a mid-flight abortion.
Yeah, I wish we're on a 737 so that the emergency plane would come out and I could toss out a fucking kid.
Undo a seatbelt.
Yeah, easily. And everyone would clap.
Yeah, maybe we should start carrying like, sleeping medication with us. You just put it in their little apple juice.
How did they not think of like Benadryl?
I don't know. So, do you still want kids now?
No.
Exactly.
No.
See, this is why I can't do it.
Awful.
Yeah, actually, what pisses me off more is when I am in like first class, especially long haul international, and someone has paid for their little kids to be up there. First class should be 21 and up only.
Yeah, you know what? That is such a good point. Like, what is the reason? Sit down like you have an animal here. Yep. You're going to be treated like an animal and you're going to be in economy.
Honestly, I don't understand why they can't just go in stowage with the luggage.
Yeah. Give them a Benadryl.
Put a little playpen down there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Animals though.
Well, welcome back. I missed you.
I missed you too. This morning, did you feel the earthquake?
No. Was there one?
Yeah. The new Ariana Grande single.
Oh, please. What is the track? I haven't heard it.
You haven't heard it?
No.
Oh, okay. It's really good.
Is it just Ariana or is it a feature?
It's just Ariana, and we're going to talk about this later, but we're going to have a game about predictions of 2024.
Okay.
One of the things that's not on the list, but I thought about it, was dumb pop should be back. Like, I'm tired of this like very
bimbo pop.
Yeah, bimbo, like, and dumb and bimbo, not in a pejorative sense, like in a escapism sense.
Yep.
We need that back, and this song fits perfectly.
Yep.
Into that trend.
Oh, I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah, really good. Highly recommend.
Honestly, as long as it doesn't feature Frankie, I'm probably gonna love it. So.
You know what? He could be probably backup vocals, and I wouldn't know.
Ugh, no, thank you.
Yeah. So go ahead and take a listen to that one.
All right, I'll put it on my to-do list.
So as usual, we're gonna start off with tops and bottoms. For the new folks, we flip a coin and decide which one of us will discuss a top, aka the highlight of the week, and the other will discuss a bottom or something bad that happened that week. Do you have your top and bottom?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, what do you want?
I want bottoms, so I will call heads for bottoms.
Okay.
I can't see it.
That's tails. What did you say?
Head for bottoms.
Okay, so that means I go...
I think it's the inverse.
Okay, I go for...
I get top, you get bottom.
Okay, cool. Do you want to start off with the top?
Sure, let's do it. Mine is fashion related.
Okay.
But did you see my post about the latest Gucci show?
Yeah, I thought it looked really good and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But can you explain why you thought it was great?
Sure. I mean, this is a little bit down the fashion rabbit hole, but Gucci has long had a designer, Alessandro Michele, has a very loud and garish sort of aesthetic. And his initial few years at Gucci, it worked because it was whimsical and charming, and it was a deviation from the sort of boring luxury that Gucci was doing before. But after several years, it just felt really dry and like one note, like he didn't have anything new to say. It felt tacky and cheap, and I would equate it to like the Ed Hardyization of Gucci. Like no one wanted to be seen in Gucci, and this latest collection is just a return to more like sophisticated luxury, but still really, really interesting. The like really saturated colors, very architectural
love that mustard.
cuts. Oh yes,
the mustard,
the puffy mustard
so
leather
beautiful.
sort of piece. Absolutely stunning. Like it's one of those. I guess I found it inspirational to see a collection that makes you want to dress better, and I'm just living for it at the moment.
I will say that when you posted the pictures, I immediately thought this is high fashion.
Exactly.
It looked like high fashion.
Exactly.
Yeah, it looked very well thought out.
Yeah. Well, that's my top.
So my bottom of the week is Australian coffee.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I have thoughts on this. Continue.
So my partner, who's Australian, tells me like he misses the coffee in Australia so much. There's a coffee brand here. It's called Blue Bottle. It's in the city, and everyone that loves coffee loves this place. I don't think I've ever tried it, but I thought that Australian coffee would be fantastic. The first, I kid you not, 3 places we tried, the coffee was shit. It's so bitter. Even like the Americanos that they have are like way more bitter, it just tastes bad. Like it tastes like you're blending herbal stuff in water. Like it did not taste good. And then when they do have like iced lattes are hard to find or like really hard to locate. And it's really hot. But when they do have it, they put only like 1 shot of an espresso, and then they'll fill it with like a pint of milk.
How did the gay survive?
I don't know.
And I think it's probably not Blue Bottle. You're thinking of Bluestone, right? Here in the city?
I thought it was called Blue Bottle.
Maybe Blue Bottle's also Australian. Who knows? Bluestone definitely is. And that was going to be my feedback on this, because there's a Bluestone right down the street.
Maybe it is Bluestone.
And the coffee sucks.
It sucks.
Sucks.
I prefer to Starbucks.
Oh, for sure. I would rather like Starbucks from the trash than Bluestone. Yeah, it's just absolutely terrible.
Oh, they suck. Yeah.
So we're in a new year.
New year.
New me.
Same me.
No, I feel so different this year.
Oh, and how so? Bitch. Tell me.
You know what? Like I am not a person that's really into resolutions, and every year just sort of feels the same for me. I think last year was a really foundational year for me. And I would say for both of us, honestly. Like I think we did a lot of things and experienced a lot of personal growth last year. And I personally feel really set up for like change this year.
Yeah.
I feel different. I feel a different energy.
Yeah, I think that a lot of things happened to both of us. I mean, I'm just like I got a new job, so I feel like I'm in a different literal physical place than I was.
Yep.
And it's a lot. There's a lot less stress in my life. So I'm happy. And then also we started this podcast. So
yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like, I think I invested a lot in my like physical health last year. I think may not have reached what I wanted, but I did a lot in that space, and I want to build on that this year. And similarly, I think I finally took that dive into more creative endeavors like this and social media that we've talked about, and I'm just feeling really energized about it. So I'm excited about this year.
Are there any like specific highlights from 2023 that you remember that you're like, fuck, this is changing me?
I mean, so many of them. I mean, I think one of the things that I'm most happy about is just the level of like connection and bonding that I think we had with like our friends last year.
Yeah.
Like I felt like we've had close friendships for a bit, but it really felt like a family last year. And I don't know, I was just really happy with, how that sort of shook out. And
yeah. So I can pinpoint it to the, it's the last party in P-Town that we went to all together.
Yes.
That night, I just felt like, I mean, the vibes were through the roof. All my sisters were there. Our partners were there. Like, it was 12 out of 10. Like, it was fantastic. Like, that is one moment that I'm like, I love the relationships that I've made.
I mean, and we also just had such an epic year, summer especially, but just the amount of places we went to and things that we experienced together. We got to go to Mykonos, which I know a lot of gays love Mykonos, but Mykonos in particular has like such a special like meaning to me. Like I'm just obsessed with it. And I was so happy to have taken my two best friends there and for us to have experienced that. But just everything with our partners and everything. It was just such a special year, and it really has energized and motivated me for all the things that we're going to do this year.
Yep. Yeah. And I'll talk about it more, but I got to go to Australia with my partner and visit his family. I think that's like a huge step, especially when the family lives on the other side of the world. Mm-hmm. So I'm really proud of that.
Well, glad you got to go.
Yeah. So do you want to play a little game?
Yes. So we both have been talking about this, but I think for our listeners, you probably have seen the trend that was all over the place, TikTok, Instagram, at the new year, where everyone was listing, their ins and outs for the year. So we thought we would make it into a game.
And what is the game called?
In and out.
Which
makes me want a cheeseburger real bad.
I know. So we're basically just going to say things that we think are in and out in 2024.
All right, I'll kick it off. Out, authenticity.
Out, re-recording of Taylor Swift's albums. We don't need another Taylor Swift album. We need a ceasefire in Gaza.
Out, the concept of the more the merrier. Keep your circle small and tight, like your hole.
Out, Hermes.
Out, the Straits.
All right, now we're transitioning to in. What's in this year? Lobotomies.
Tax evasion.
Poopy sex. If he's your soulmate, he's not going to mind a little fecal matter on his penis.
Horse tranquilizer.
In chunky jewelry.
And ghosting.
Okay, well, that was fun. I had a great time.
I enjoyed
it. Something that's also, appears around this time every year is resolutions. What do you think about resolutions?
I mean, I mentioned this earlier. I'm just not that big on it. I don't know. What about you? Like you're pretty fit year round, so you're not going to be one of these people that has like the New Year's gym resolution.
No, I think I'm kind of along the same lines. I think that a lot of people take resolutions different. I think they're just like in a different mindset. Like I think a lot of people are like, I'm going to lose weight, and I'm like, that's cool, but like, why? Why are you doing that?
Well, why do you need a whole new year to become a different person? Why not now?
Yeah, like why not start it 6 months ago?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Or like people are like, I'm gonna stop drinking, or I'm gonna stop drinking Coke Zero. It's like, why?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have some resolutions, but you just don't need a new year for it. Like a good one for you would be like to develop a personality.
That's not gonna happen when I have these fucking looks. Mm-hmm. Sweetie.
Just relying on those tits too much.
And ass.
That's true. That's true.
So, what was your resolution last year?
You know this, and
I can't remember.
Yeah, I told you I wanted to get in like the best physical health.
But why?
I just wanted to. I've had this mental picture for forever that like 28 to 32 for whatever reason was gonna be like the sweet spot for me. Like,
but aren't you 40?
No. Bitch. No, I don't know why. I just thought that would always be like the best age range for me. Of course, I just came up on the upper bound of that last year. So I was like, all right, I got to get this shit in gear. Like, not that I haven't been in like decent shape, but I wanted to get like, fitter than ever. I wanted to try to eat better. And it was really more about just the health perspective for me. And I think I am like proud of where I landed, but I'm gonna really crush it this year. I feel it.
I think you achieved it. This is like the best physical shape that I've ever seen you in.
I can't tell if that's great. Underhanded or not.
No. I think you look fantastic.
I appreciate it.
Don't ever change. All right.
Well, maybe you should.
I think my resolution last year was, I know one of them was to travel more, read more books.
Bitch, we travel all the time.
Yeah, but travel to new places, and I completed that. Greece first time, P-Town first time, Sydney, Australia first time. So I think I completed that, and then there were some others. One which changed our lives forever, and we cannot say on the mic.
Oh,
yeah, and
yeah.
that did change our lives, and I love it. And I wish we could share.
There's a lot of equines that equine. I'm having trouble saying that at the moment. They can't get operations right now. But yes, really solid times together.
So do you have one for this year?
Even though I don't have New Year's resolution per se, but I definitely have goals. And I think because of some of the things that we've been working on, like this podcast, for example, for the first time ever, I've actually created like actual KPIs to track towards, like goals that I want to have of like listeners and things.
Wait, KPI? Sorry, I didn't understand some of that lingo.
Yeah, business lingo is like, like trying to measure our performance over time. And, we're doing this because it's a fun endeavor for you and me to spend time together, and hopefully people out there listen to our stories and get some enjoyment out of it. But the reality is that we also want to have engagement. So I do have goals around engagement for this year.
Yeah, I feel you. I think for me this year, I think that I want to focus on making sure that I'm creative.
Exactly.
I want to make sure that I'm just not focused like 100% on 9-to-5 stuff or money to spend. Like, I don't want to be focused on like, oh, I need this amount of money to spend because I don't want to do this, and this. I want to do something that's not related to purely financial gain for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is just a part of us getting older. We're, in our 30s.
Yeah.
It's life felt like it got really serious really quickly.
Yeah.
And as much fun as we have, like, I don't know, we should be free from like the trappings of the heteronormative world with feeling like you have to have kids and be married off and all of that. And I just really want to have fun this year in whatever form that looks like. So I'm trying to embrace my inner child this year and hopefully explore that through the creative endeavors we're doing.
Yeah, good. Should we get to the no notes section?
Yeah, let's do it.
So for this week's episode, we wanted to focus on New Year's Eve sort of situations that we had. So obviously we had two separate ones, but do you want to start off with what you did this New Year's?
Yeah. So I ended up going to a house party in Orinda. Have you ever been there?
I've been to Orinda. They have I think they have like a small college, but they're known for their basketball.
I've never heard of Orinda.
How did you get there?
We drove.
Who drove?
Elle. It was Elle, Henry, Ty, me.
Oh crap! So
and Andrea, and then they took another car.
I actually love that you did like a house party because I think like the worst part about New Year's Eve are the ticketed parties.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess this past year we did a day party on New Year's Day, but for New Year's Eve we typically do some sort of intimate dinner or house party. That's what we've always done together.
Yeah, the transportation's always a nightmare on New Year's Eve. It's expensive. If you want to do something like a ticketed party, they're gonna charge you a crazy amount, drinks, crazy amount, crowds, awful, animals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the best way to do it is to spend it like at someone's house.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm all about some exclusivity and a tight little knit event. I can't do the big crowds. But it was out in Orinda, which again, never heard of. It's really dark out there. Kind of reminded me of my childhood out in rural Georgia, like just not a lot of lighting,
tons of trees
and greenery. Interesting place for two gays to live, but
How many people were at this party?
I would say maybe 20 to 25 people.
Was it like a big space? So did that feel like small?
Yeah,
or like...
I think it was, the house was about 4,500 square feet or so.
So it's a bigger house.
Bigger house.
Yeah.
Like multiple living room kind of spaces, massive kitchen. They had a bartender, which I'll get into in a minute. But yeah, I mean, it was a nice setup. Like, it was big.
So I've noticed that a lot of house parties, especially in San Francisco, have bartenders.
The bartender is common. I wish people would focus more on hiring DJs, and we've been to a few parties lately that I feel like have had DJs too. And you know me, I'm big on music. I think that like makes or breaks a mood. And if you're going to have a house party, it is entirely about mood. So this house, they had like all their overhead lighting on. So that was, a no-no for me. And they were just playing like someone's playlist off an iPhone, and they would just change it their whim, which is also really annoying and distracting for me.
Was it on a speaker?
Yeah, like their speakers in their ceiling.
Can you imagine if they just put a cell phone in a red Solo cup?
The drinks were in Solo cups, weren't they? No, the shots were in like miniature red Solo cups. But yeah, it was shoes off party, which
that's also very common. I'm convinced that the entire.
I was going to say the shoes off is I never really know what direction it's headed in, because it can definitely go a specific direction.
Yeah, like I'm wondering if the entire gay community is just like a foot fetish club, and they're just like trying to get a sneak peek of people's dogs.
It's like when we go to someone's house. There was one that we went to recently before Honey Dijon that it was shoes on, and I was like, oh yeah, this is not going to become an orgy. But when it's shoes off, it's feeling like a step closer in that direction. And especially when you're going to someone's house that you've never been to and you don't know the crowd, you don't know what the vibe is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, and this is something I think every house party should have, is a well-equipped and sizable powder room. I need a space when I get overstimulated to go decompress in, but also I spent several moments in there with our cohort of friends, just socializing, spilling tea, sharing secrets.
How big was the powder room?
Like 5 of us could fit in there, no problem.
So like a regular sized. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone sits on the counter, you talk shit about the people that you don't know, someone's peeing in the background. It's great.
Yeah. You're also looking for sisterhood in the stall.
Sisterhood in the stall. Yeah. So I really appreciated that they had that. So let's talk about the interesting parts of the party. The bartender who I mentioned, trying to fuck everyone. And I'm pretty sure.
Was he hot?
Some would say so. He definitely had a massive bubble butt and was wearing like 2008 Express where everything's like painted on him.
Say no more.
You know the type I'm talking about. Dangly cross earring.
Yep.
Latino. He literally was trying to fuck everyone. He said to Elle like multiple times, like, please let me know if there's anything else I could do for you. And it was just like all over everyone.
Quick side story. Speaking of, my partner ran into someone at the gym, and they were saying that they were in first class, and they were, the steward, the flight attendant was gay, and made this implication that he either was fucking people in first class and the flight attendant was covering for him, or he was fucking the flight attendant in first class.
Now that's service.
Is there no justice? Are there no manners anymore?
I'm not mad about it.
Really?
No, I don't care people are having sex on the plane.
So you would be like the twink that's like, guys, go in the bathroom right now.
Yeah, like the Austin Wolf posts. Which also, how does he fit in a...
I don't know.
I mean, I like bang my head on there every time and I'm short.
If you kick every twink out of this country, who else is gonna
fuck Austin Wolf? I love that. Yeah, so the bartender was already like a hot mess, and that was getting interesting. Pretty sure he was hired for more than just bartending.
But how could he do anything if everyone's shoes were on?
And I will say he was there after midnight too. So yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure he was there for more than just bartending. But late night, they decided to shut the music off and switch to karaoke. If you're going to do karaoke...
How old were these guys?
Some of them were like in their 50s.
Yeah, that the songs they're singing and the songs I'm
Oh,
going to be singing
no.
are not the same,
So
sweetie.
I thought they were going to have like a setup on the TV with the mics and everything.
Mm.
No. They pulled the bartender onto their piano to play like classical tracks that then they were like singing to.
No.
So bad, Alex.
Oh my
so
God.
bad.
This is quartz. This is hell.
Worse. Yeah, I mean, it was just really, really bad. We didn't know what was happening.
Were they at least like good singers?
No. Mm-mm.
No.
And that's the other thing. If you're going to do karaoke, unless you're just
live karaoke.
Yeah,
That's not even karaoke.
unless you're just like comically bad, like, and you're able to deliver that in a way that's really funny, you should just not do karaoke.
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't do karaoke unless other people know the song.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to do that with 50-year-old gays. Those black and white musicals,
Yeah.
they don't make them anymore.
Mm. So I don't know. It was okay. I mean, I love a house party, typically love an intimate gathering. But it wasn't my taste per se. I would do it differently. But let's hear about your New Year's, because I think yours was probably more exciting.
So I wouldn't say it was. So I went to Australia. I was there for, technically I was gone for 2 weeks, but I was actually there for like 10 days. You lose some days because of the flying back and forth.
Yeah.
So I went to Sydney first, was there for a couple days, then moved up the coast to the central coast, then went to Brisbane, which is like a city on the east coast,
Mm-hmm.
and then went to a couple of beaches. But I want to like talk about a couple of things that I saw first. So in Australia, barefoot culture, huge.
No.
And I'm not just talking about like at the beach. Like people are barefoot at the market, restaurants, cafes, the gym. I saw a lady in her 60s working out at like lifting weights barefoot.
Gross.
They must not like think of athlete's foot as like
Ringworm. I
like,
mean,
it's
there's just so
gross.
many things.
they're just barefoot all the time. And
Ugh.
like, you know how the soles will get black?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's got like a crust.
It's a crust.
Ugh. That's foul. I've never noticed that. Does Matt do that? Does he walk around barefoot a lot?
I wouldn't say not, but when he was in, no. Oh, and people would also go to like the bathroom section, like the urinals,
No.
barefoot.
No.
It was giving Britney.
No.
It was giving Britney. I also noticed that the population size in Australia is tiny.
Interesting.
So the country size of the U.S.
See, that I actually always forget just how large it is.
Huge.
And then, I mean, I know it's sort of set up in the same way as the U.S., that the only places that you want to go are on either extremes of the east or west coast.
Yeah.
And in the middle is just a whole bunch of nothing, the bush or whatever.
Yeah.
Outback.
Yeah. So like all the population centers are on the coasts of both east and west, but it's only 25 million, like compared to the U.S., which is over 300 million.
Yeah.
So Sydney, which is the biggest city, still felt so small. Like it made San Francisco seem like Ibiza.
Wow.
So like we would be walking the streets, it'd be like popular. Like we went to King Street, King's Cross, all these like popular areas, and there aren't that many people on the street.
Interesting. How's the diversity of people?
It's white.
But I mean, like, I feel like, okay, you and I have talked about this before. I can spot an Aussie like a mile away. I mean,
Yeah.
I spotted Matt before he even spoke. Like, I don't know. I can pick up on it. They all have a very fuck boy look to me.
Yeah.
Which I think is like going back to them being
Fuck boys.
Well, I was going to say their convict ancestry.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a lot of shared DNA there. They all just look very similar, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do. They all are like 6'3", 6'5". A lot of them have long hair. Like I would say a quarter
Really
of the population.
I mean, I
has
knew like
long
mullets were trending in Aussie land, but I didn't know.
Huge. Oh my gosh, mullets, mustaches.
Yes.
I love that. Like it's
were
very
they all wearing
conservative.
the short shorts too? Because I
The
feel like
rugby
that's
shorts.
yeah.
It's the rugby shorts with oversized black shirts
Yes.
or white.
Yep.
I love that look. Like the entire time I was there, I was like, how can I copy this look?
You were probably quite exotic to them then.
No, here's the thing. So the thing that I hate the most is just how unimpressed I was to Australian people. So in the US, if you hear an Australian,
Meaning they were not impressed with you.
they just couldn't be bothered. So in the US,
Wow.
if you hear
That's
an
a
Australian,
new one for you.
tell me about it. And this is character growth, because I would be crying in any other situation.
Mm-hmm.
But like here in the U.S., you hear an Australian accent. People are like, "Where are you from?" People are like, people will just start talking to this random person because they have an Australian accent.
Yep.
In the U.S., I was talking to them like, bartenders, random people. No one would say, "Where are you from?" No one cared at all. I could have been dead on the middle of the road, and people would be like driving around me.
My respect for Australians has increased tenfold since we had this conversation. Well, that's a shame for you because Australians love me. I've had really good success rate with Australians. So
yeah, well, I've seen what they look like, sweetie. That's the third time I called you sweetie on this podcast.
Didn't you also tell me they were pretty roided?
And on Bondi Beach specifically, it's like LA. So it looked like Venice Beach.
I knew it looked reminiscent of SoCal.
It looked like SoCal. The houses on the coast looked like the Newport homes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The people there are really, really in shape. All of them are like really, really tall. They're all in really great shape. They don't care about skin cancer. They're all like leathery tan to the point where I'm concerned.
Wow. So a place with great weather, attractive guys that all look largely similar, where I would trend and you flop. It sounds like we should move there.
Yeah, let's go there. It's also really conservative. There aren't that many gays.
Good.
We went to the bars down there on King's Cross, and it was like Twin Peaks.
Really?
I
kind of thought the
terrible
nightlife scene's supposed to be great in Sydney.
No, terrible. Maybe ticketed parties are probably a lot better, but the bar scene was a flop.
I do think they have a little bit of like a DL culture.
Yeah, it's very conservative. They only
that's what I'm saying. I think it's a little bit more like repressed, and you have to seek it out more so.
Can you imagine how terrible their personalities are then?
Well, you date one, so.
And then for New Year's, I went to sleep at 10. I didn't stay up.
Were you at his family's place at New Year's? Or?
No, I was on Bondi. Neither of us wanted to actually do anything because of the things I said earlier, like crowds, ticketed. We did go to lunch, or not lunch, pre-dinner drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was after, actually. Yeah, it was after dinner drinks. It was still like sunlight because we ate pretty early. And there were people that were starting to come in for this party at the bar that we're at. And it's just miserable. It's like a lot of British were at the Bondi section.
Oh.
And so, they're like,
God, they're just everywhere.
Lads on tour.
They're starting to be like the Parisian bed bugs,
Disgusting.
Popping up everywhere.
They're so gross, and you can spot them because they're all pink because they never get sun, and so they're there, and they're like, "Oi,
is you me daddy?
Is you me daddy?" It was really bad, dude. The entire time I was there, I was trying to perfect my accent, and I thought I would be doing well, but then it was just kind of flopping.
Can we deviate for one moment because you just talked about the British?
Uh-huh.
So I was really hoping that I would get my bottoms earlier during the tops and bottoms segment. But have you seen the trending story about gays can't give a normal compliment?
Yes.
So coming out of like the Golden Globes, like all of these gays just posting these absurd tweets. And I just need to read to you the one about Rosamund Pike.
Okay.
From Saltburn.
Yeah.
So it's her and Dior Couture. And Chris says she flew the mother plane directly into the World Serve Center in Contagon. And I am living.
There was one, I'm just going to do it from memory, but it was like, I think it was, I want to say it was the actress from Beef, Ali Wong.
Yeah, I think I saw those.
She was wearing something, and the caption was, "Mama ate contaminated food and had slayeria all over the carpet."
And there's another one I have written down about Greta Lee that says she's next in line of serve session to the chief executive mother of Slay Star Roy Cunt.
We're really creative.
Yeah, we are. We can impart wisdom combined with comedy, and I just think that's what makes the fag special. But anyway, back to your Australia trip.
I mean, that's basically it.
Well, what I wanted to hear about were the animals.
So, yes, I went to the Steve Irwin.
Oh, I didn't realize that's the one you went to. Wait, did you get to see
Australian
Robert?
Zoo. No, man, but he
so hot.
Right?
His
bottom.
dad, beautiful human being, first of all,
but not a beautiful physical.
Right, but he did a good job with those kids.
Yeah.
Like
Terry's pretty. His wife, Gorgina.
The kids seem so sweet. I love that they've carried on their father's legacy.
Actually, this is gonna crush you. I've heard Bindi. I've heard she's a cunt.
Well, good for her.
Yeah. You know what? Applaud.
But Robert seems precious.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with his TikToks of him and all the little animals, and he is his father, basically.
Yeah.
So what animals did you get to see?
I got to see. Oh fuck! I have a present for you, and I forgot it.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I'll just get
next
it
podcast episode.
Yeah, I'll get it to you next time. But I got to see the Ruse.
It better be a fucking quokka.
My lips are sealed.
Anyway.
I get to see. I have a video. I'll show you after the podcast. I have a video of them.
Wait, they had quokkas there?
Yeah.
I thought they're only in Perth, or off Perth and Rottnest Island.
This is Australian Zoo, the National Zoo. They have everything that you want.
So I saw you got to hold a koala.
I got to hold two different koalas. One was Jasper. So there were 4 people in my tour. It was me, my partner, and then this random British couple that can go to trash.
Mm-hmm.
They got to hold Jasper first. Jasper held on to them, and then when I got to Jasper just wasn't having it. I think Jasper is a little racist. He saw my skin.
He didn't like the scent you put off.
No, he was like this, which is weird because out of all the people, I probably resemble a tree the most, is the skin color. But he did not want so the video I posted on Instagram was him not wanting to hug me.
Oh, I didn't realize he actually never hugged you.
So they switched me out and got me.
They gave you the non-racist
Surfer,
koala.
and Surfer was a little bit more appreciative of my skin color, my Latina-ness, and hugged me. And I'll show you the picture as well. And
what do they feel like?
They feel like a stuffed animal. They're not. Oh. They're like a buzz cut. You know how like the koala stuffed animals feel exactly like a real one.
Oh, that's so cute.
And when the tour guide person, I don't know what her official title is, chick that checks on koalas, was turned around, there was a koala that was in the tree, and I was just scratching its butt, and it kicked, it started kicking out and scratching. It was so cute.
Oh,
adorbs.
Did they have Australian possums there?
No.
Mm.
I only saw them on the side of the road dead.
There's so many fun Australian animals. It always makes me think of like the second generation Pokemon when you finally ended up in like a new space and there were all these Pokemon you had never seen before. Yeah. That's how Australia
and they're
feels
not
like
quite as good as the original 151. Yeah, I get it.
But like there's like and also why do they all start with K's? There's like kiwi, kangaroo, koala, kookaburra. Like there's all these K animals, but
I think it might be related to the indigenous language.
Yeah, probably. But so many cute animals I just want to hold.
Yeah, it was a great time. Loved Australia, loved the zoo. I'm glad that I was there for the beginning portion of 2024.
Sounds like the nightlife wasn't it though.
No, nightlife was not. I'm sure that there are parties that are ticketed and like underground, but I didn't get to explore it. The bar scene though, dead. She's gone.
Maybe it shouldn't be that high priority for us. I've been thinking about we should do this for like Mardi Gras sometime.
Oh no, it's like Sydney felt like Minneapolis.
Wow.
Not even not even Sacramento.
So what of our listeners should go to Australia? Like, what should they be going to Australia for? More nature,
beaches.
outdoorsy.
Yeah, the entire time I was there was mid 80s. Humidity was really high, so it was kind of a little like nothing would dry. But go there for nature, tons of beaches. I was at a beach, the entire Bondi Beach. Then I went to Noosa. Then I went to Burleigh. Fantastic. The water's probably in like the low 70s. It was beautiful, but the gay scene is not.
So you really need to be into like nature, outdoorsy sort of activities, or trying to like play with the animals, or trying to abduct or kidnap, choice of on.
Exactly. And maybe Melbourne is better.
Yeah.
You know,
that's where you find joy.
Yeah. Architecture, Gorgina.
Yeah. There's a fascinating YouTube channel I've shared with your boyfriend before. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's called The Local Project.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of minimalist homes, and 90% of them are in Australia.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. Like whatever they've got going on from a creative direction over there, they've nailed it.
In Brisbane, I checked out a hotel. I think it was called Carlisle. Stunning. It was like, it looked like modern / brutalism with a little bit of like warmth, a lot of plants hanging out of like everywhere.
Nice.
Really, really nice. So yeah, that makes up for in other facts.
Well, I can't say I'm too disappointed that your New Year's wasn't that fabulous without me. Maybe it'll be a sign going forward that you need to spend it with me.
You're a Cancer and I cut it out.
No, I mean, I don't know. Just have more fun when we're together.
We do. And we have a ton of really good trips lined up for this year. And hopefully our listeners will get a glimpse of it.
Yeah. Got some parties coming up soon. So more content to come.
All right. See you guys.
All right. We'll talk to you next time. And thank you for listening.
Hey, it's Colby and Alex here. Thank you for listening to No Notes.
If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to follow us wherever you get your podcasts and share with your friends.
You can also follow us on Instagram at No Notes Pod, one word, where you'll find updates on new episodes and see more into our lives and the stories that we share with you on the show.
Your support means the world to us. Until next time, keep it real and keep it queer.